Hey guys, I'm Connor Byers, I'm back with another video, and today I'm going to be talking about how I made almost $90,000 in my first month of dropshipping. Now before I get into it, make sure to go smash that like button real quick. It only takes a second and it really helps me out, so I appreciate it. Now my first month of dropshipping really goes back to April of 2020. Now I told most of the story in this video right here, but if you haven't seen the video already, I'll go ahead and summarize it real quick. Basically, as coronavirus rose and more people began to stay home, the demand for puzzles began to rise quickly, something I noticed, and many of the existing puzzle manufacturers sold out of puzzles, leaving a gap in the market. After figuring out how I would be able to fulfill the demand, I launched a store selling puzzles, which quickly rose and eventually became the #1 US retailer for puzzles for a brief period of time. As I mentioned, this business was able to do $90,000 in the very first month of selling puzzles online. Now the way I've seen people talk about dropshipping a lot online is by finding a product that not many people know about and creating demand for it and slowly building it through an advertisement campaign on Facebook ads or something and slowly growing demand with your product. Now what made my product different and how I was able to do $90,000 a month is I found a product that already had the demand there. People already wanted puzzles. There was a large amount of demand, all the other sellers of it were sold out, leaving me as the #1 person in the market to fulfill demand as soon as I worked out the logistics. Now usually when people are using the typical way of dropshipping, they have to scale much more slowly because they have to build the demand as they go. They have to create a profitable ad campaign on Facebook ads by creating ads and graphics and text and working out the interest groups they want to target and building the demand with people, which is a slow process. The demand builds and slowly builds and builds and builds and gets higher. But when the demand is already there, the demand is already at a high level and you can just go into the market with a text ad. I use Google Ads for my ads and I'll talk about this more in a second, but I use Google Ads. You go in there, the demand is already there, and you don't have to do any building of the demand, and you can just capitalize on the market with however much money you are willing to spend. And you can begin making money from day one instead of waiting weeks of unprofitability to get the money. And I find this way of dropshipping is much more profitable. As I just mentioned, I use Google Ads. Usually when people are dropshipping, they have to do all this ad building and stuff. As I just mentioned, the interest groups, building an ad, building a video ad or image ad, and marketing it on Snapchat, Facebook, or whatever. And for me, all I do is I make a Google ad. And with Google Ads, it's much similar. All you have to do is have your search keywords and build a text ad, which is much simpler. There's way less factors and things to go wrong than there are with Facebook ads or Snapchat ads or something else. And by taking away the factor of having to build the demand myself, I can focus my energy on what matters more, making my funnel work better on the website, making my website look better, working with my existing customers to bring them back again, expanding my operations, offering new products. These are the things I like doing a whole lot more than building demand and advertisement. It's just let me focus my time for the things that I want to do when building my business. Now what you may be thinking is the demand for puzzles that happened with coronavirus is such a one-time thing. There's not always going to be a pandemic that comes and creates spikes in demand and lower supply. This was a one-time thing, and I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a few more examples so you can see that there is so much possibility when it comes to finding products like this. Now my second big success was with gardening. Now as we enter into spring into summer, gardening is very popular. It rises every single year. If you look at the trend report, it rises every year. It's not a thing, but especially with more people at home, gardening rose even more this past year. And so I saw this rise in demand, and when looking for tools, I saw that a lot of seed sites were sold out. All the main websites with seeds were sold out, and also seeds is the product that you cannot ship from China. It's not so simple, so AliExpress is not gonna have seeds. But what I did find was there are a lot of farmers on eBay selling seeds, and I'm not sure many people realize this. So after finding out the logistics of how I can ship seeds, how I can dropship from eBay with Shopify, there's a lot of plugins for dropshipping with AliExpress and DHers, but nothing really for eBay, so I had to do a lot of searching, figure out how I'm going to do it before I finally worked it out and began dropshipping seeds, and I quickly began getting a lot of orders. I never got to the point where I scaled it, but still I made a good profit with this company selling seeds from eBay as the demand for gardening rose up, and I never had to create any demand myself. The third example I give here comes this summer when temperatures in a lot of areas were hotter than most people were used to, and pools remained closed, and so the demand for inflatable pools began to rise. I saw this demand and also began to fill it by selling different sizes of inflatable pools also through a listing on AliExpress. This I was able to capitalize on quickly as the demand for it was already there, so I wasn't building a demand. I was able to start selling products profitably from day one. I didn't have to build any demand with the product. See how much easier this is? I've seen successful stories of people building demand. It's very possible, but it's gonna take longer for you to get to that final destination. Build a demand, but there's gonna be weeks of unprofitability, and for me, I'd much rather be profitable from day one. Now this is great and all, but also I'm going to tell you guys how you can do this yourself, how you can find the products that are trending in demand, and how you know there's demand to be filled. Now the number one tool I like to use here is Google Trends. Now if you go over to Google Trends, you can see a panel where it'll show you the trending topics right now, but generally that's not what I like to use it for. Generally I like to use my own intuition and kind of think about what products might be rising in demand, once again from looking at the news. I know there's a stigma against the news, but if you look at it, this can be very, very helpful here. I find these ideas that I think might be trending, like puzzles, and I would plug it in here and I would see if the evidence does back up my initial thinking. Right here you can see what the demand was for puzzles when I started getting into it. Right here you can see the demand for gardening when I got into it. Right here you can see the demand for inflatable pools when I got into it. And all these things, you see the demand is rising. There might be some fulfillment problems with the existing providers, so I step up with a strong logistical plan to fulfill these orders, and I am able to capture this demand. Now I hope you guys like this video. Make sure to go hit the like button and subscribe if you like this content. I'm back 3 times a week with more content like this, helping you guys out in your money making journeys, so make sure to stay tuned if you want to hear more like this. Once again, thanks for watching, and peace out, guys.